Hey guys, how is everybody? How's everyone doing? Well, tonight was pretty wild. Let me know if the audio is working. Let me know how I sound, how everything's coming in. Trying to see the comments. Let me move this over. So, I have been going crazy tonight trying to get the camera to work. I have some great news, some good news. First off, I want to thank you all for being here. I'm sorry that I'm a bit all over the place tonight, but I was trying to get my Canon to connect to my computer, and it was driving me nuts. I was supposed to go live like at 9, then I changed it to 10, then I couldn't figure it out. I mean, this whole time, guys, I've been trying to figure it out. And really what I wanted to do was give you guys tonight the best quality I could, because we have now sort of upgraded the live platform. I'm using Streamlab. And first off, I want to just thank all of you guys here in the live chat for always being awesome and supporting me every way you can, and just joining the conversation and helping keeping me motivated, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And it really means a lot to see you guys in the live chat. So yeah, so now we're using StreamYard. So there's a bunch of cool new features that I can use, and it also should fix the lagging issue that I was having with OBS. For those of you listening to this as a podcast, you may not understand what I'm talking about, but this is a live that we do on my channel, my YouTube channel, The Undead Gaucho, where I talk to the community and we talk about the UFO phenomenon, high strangeness. We just sit down once a week and talk about peeking behind the veil and the unexplained. So yeah, guys, I'm hyped about this Streamlabs thing. It's just so much easier than using OBS. OBS was driving me crazy, and I wanted to bring guests on. I want to give a big shout out to Engaging the Phenomenon, who was the first guest on the channel. If you guys haven't checked that out after this live, make sure to jump onto the channel. It's the last upload. Great dude. If you're not following him, make sure to go follow him or subscribe to his channel. And I also had a sit down with Dave from Shadows of Your Mind magazine. So that's in the works. It's already been recorded and everything. But I was trying to figure out how to get more guests on the live and how to just get more guests on the channel in general. And so maybe include some of you guys in the lives. And StreamYard just seemed like the best option. So thanks to my Patreons and everyone that's helping me grow this channel, I decided to chip in and get StreamYard. So let me show you guys some of the cool things that we can do with StreamYard. So let me jump into the live chat, look there. Then we'll start talking about the topic tonight. But I just help me. Sorry, guys. Help me get centered tonight. Oh, help me get centered tonight, because you guys don't know the last few hours that I had. I just smacked the mic. Trying to get this camera to work. And the one thing I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to check. Let me see one real quick, guys, before we do anything else. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to check the battery status, because the real issue was I got a dummy battery for the camera. And for some reason, when the dummy battery is plugged in, the camera it doesn't get recognized by the EOS app on my computer. So if anybody has a solution to that, shoot me a message. let me know. I think the only thing I'm gonna have to do is get a video capture card. For those of you that don't know what that is, it's kind of like something you connect, like a USB sort of connected little thingamajiggy that goes into a USB port, and it connects to the cable and to the camera, and it captures the video from the camera and processes it well or something. I don't know, but I'm gonna do that tonight because I am gonna have some interviews coming up, and I'm gonna go on other people's channels, and I want to give them good quality and represent our channel on their channels with this kind of quality, right? So yeah, give me a sec, guys. Let me do one thing. One second. Let me check what the deal is. The battery life tonight. Oh, you guys can probably hear that, but that's me moving around here. All right. So, also, I mean, that's another thing. If you didn't hear what I just said a second ago, I got a dummy battery. And the idea with that is it lets me stream or use the camera for as long as we want to talk, I can talk, which is awesome, right? Because the only reason why the lives end after an hour and a half is because the battery's dying on the camera. And the only reason why I can't go live that often is because I have to charge the batteries and then put it in. It takes a few hours to get it charged. So if I have it just ready to go any minute, when anything drops, we can talk whenever. So thank you guys again, as always, guys, for being here. I see Great Troll here. I see Alien Girl, Victor Bot, Dave, Derek, Johnny Hernandez, the Night Hunter, Sofa, John, Dan. What's up, Dan? Yeah, guys. So let's check out some of these little quirks that you get with StreamYard. I feel like a kid with a new toy. Hey, Crooked Bangs. Hey, Carson. Let's see. Let's go to banners. Let's do this one. All right, cool. So we got a banner there at the bottom. Awesome. Let's go to brand. Let's see. What's a good? Let me know what you guys. Guys, I got to relax. Let me know what you guys think of these things that I'm going to add here, okay? Like, interact with me with this. So, you always interact with me, but you know what I mean. We've got this logo. You see that little logo that just came up in the top corner, which is sort of like the undead UFO that comes up in the beginning of the live. I have a white version, so maybe I'll switch it out for the white version. We could do that. We could do a little UFO, which is also an undead UFO. And then we got this little skull. I think if I make these bigger, it's going to look cooler. Or we can just go with the Undead Gaucho logo there. But then I got these Undead Gaucho logos all over the place on my hat up there. The people listening to this as a podcast are like, what are they talking about? All right, for tonight, I guess we'll just leave it like that. Let's do this. I know there's this really cool little trick I see people use, or like feature, not trick, feature, that they use on their streams where they like show comments. So let's see. I see John saying the banners are cool. Awesome. He says the UFO is cool. We could switch it back to the UFO. Let me know, guys, UFO or the logo. I mean, this will probably change between now and the next live. Maybe, I mean, if the UFO is cool, we'll just keep it. But yeah, so thank God this is working. Or thank the universe. Everyone knows that I'm not a big religious person, so thank the universe. But what do you guys think of the quality? Victor Bot says showing a chat is nice for a chat like this that isn't insanely fast. Yeah, I agree. But I think if it ever does get insanely fast, it's going to be awesome because you guys will be there'll be so many of you talking in there and discussing whatever you want that it'll be hard for me to keep up. But I also think that eventually, if it's insanely fast, I'm going to need somebody like help moderate it. You know, for now it's fine, and I'm always going to always interact with the live chat because that's what this is for, to interact with you guys. Dave says, why are you using UFO in your titles? It's been banned by YouTube. Your videos won't be recommended. I didn't know that. How do I mute here? Awesome. Okay. So let's get into our discussion tonight. And it's been a wild time for the UFO subject. And it doesn't seem to be slowing down. It doesn't seem to be getting any less intense, is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't seem to be getting any less intense. So everyone knows about these pyramid shaped craft that Corbell shared. He leaked to the public basically Navy footage of pyramid shaped craft that has been confirmed by the Pentagon as like truly being filmed by the Navy. Okay. The UFO community exploded. It divided us down the middle. Definitely. Already when George Knapp came on and dropped the 3 pictures, there was lots of tension building up. And then when Jeremy came out with this, the UFO community split right down the middle. But what I do when these kinds of situations happen is I step away from the UFO community because I know that a lot of us want more, or a lot of us don't we don't agree with what certain people put out there, right? So I feel like when Jeremy put this out, he sort of had a marker on his head already. A lot of people don't like Jeremy Corbell, unfortunately, because of Bob Lazar, the Bob Lazar story. And there's a little bit of hate there for creatives in the UFO community and anybody trying to make a buck in any shape, way, or form, or a living looking into UFOs. There's a lot of stigma towards that as well, which is really just ridiculous in my opinion. Because personally, look at this. Tonight, I wanted to go live. I planned this out. I tested this stuff. I bought this dummy battery. I did all this stuff. You know, I try to create the best content I can, and I do it because I love it. But if I could somehow, some way figure out how to do this all the time and be able to really just 100% of the time dedicate my focus on looking into this phenomenon, that would be my dream. Like, or if I could just create a piece of art or anything that could help really change the discussion or push the discussion in a certain direction. I mean, that's all I really want to do. So when I hear people say, oh, you know, I do this because I love it and not because I want to make money. And I'm like, I do this because I love it too. Like, you think I don't do this because I could talk about anything else. I could make videos about photography if I wanted to. You know, I know that this topic, just like Dave said, the UFO topic is not the best when it comes to algorithms. It's not the best when it comes to social circles. It's not the best when people ask me, hey, I heard you make content. What is it about? And they're expecting me to say cinematography or whatever, or even vlogging or whatever. And I say, no, I talk about UFOs. And that's what I do. I make videos about UFOs. Wow, this is super clear. I could like see everything. Sorry, guys, I got distracted. The image looks great, right? Let me see how it looks on YouTube. I'm assuming it looks just like it does inside of StreamYard. You know what? There's no reason for me to go over to YouTube anymore because now the live chat actually works inside of StreamYard and I can see everything you guys are saying. Maybe if I go over to YouTube, it's going to slow this down. So let's not do that. Let's just leave StreamYard open. I'm going to go with this view here and hope that everything looks like what I'm seeing in StreamYard. But let me make this smaller again. There's one issue I'm having. I got the camera like right in front of me. Let's see what you guys are saying. The way Corbell talked down to Stan Friedman done him no favors either. Oh, I did see that. I did see that, Robert. And, you know, we got to remember too, though, not everybody's going to like everybody. And certain people, it happens a lot in this field. I don't know if you guys will agree with me, but people are like standing on pedestals. And it happens when you deal with intellectual people a lot too. I was always the kind of guy or the kind of kid that would interact with everybody. And I guess it's like throwing back into like the school days or whatever, but just because it's an example. I remember being like friends with the skater kids, and I had these friends when I first got into this new school, and they were kind of like bullies, and I realized they were bullies. So then I tried to like become friends with I guess what you would call the nerdier kids or the smarter kids or whatever. Not the smarter kids, but you know what I'm saying. I just tried to become friends with everybody. And I realized that some of the nerdy kids, I'm going to keep saying nerdy just because I think you guys get that, but I don't mean to offend anybody out there. But some of these kids that were considered smarter than the rest of the class, I would try to become friends with them. And because I wasn't at their intellectual level, they would like belittle me, right? So then I think, why did I ever pull you out of the trash can? At the end of the day, I'd be like, I should have just let them put you in the trash can anyways. But yeah, it kind of made me a recluse. Like with the freaks and geeks. So I don't really like people on pedestals. I don't like bullies. I don't like intellectuals that much. You know, like if they're open and they're cool, awesome. I'm not saying Stan Friedman was that way, but a lot of intellectuals are. So yeah, I understand that Jeremy Corbell having that argument with Stan Friedman was not good and not good for Jeremy Corbell in the eyes of the UFO community. But hey, you might see me get in an argument with somebody one day. So who knows? Who knows what could happen? John says, we know you, bro. We need to share this more. Do some interviews. I will do some interviews, man. That's the whole point of StreamYard. The only reason why I said I need StreamYard is because I can put up to like 10 people in here now at any time. I can just throw the link to somebody and say, hey, come join us in the live, or let's have an interview next Saturday or whatever. So yeah, this is going to be awesome. Derek says, it's the most fascinating subject ever. It really is. Dave says, amazing on YouTube. Great, guys. This is what I wanted. I was like, I need to figure out how to get this to look perfect and not have to worry about anything anymore. Like the specs. Just open it, do this with you guys, and communicate better with you guys without having to worry that I'm glitching up or freezing up or whatever. Victor Bot says, EOS is dope. I still shoot with the T3i EOS. The T3i is still holds up, man. I've seen some people pull off some crazy stuff with the T3i. He says, we got to talk about an interview. Definitely. I'm down. All right, guys. Do me a favor. Share this video on Twitter. Let's see if we can get more people in here. And hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you're not subscribed. No, I'm sure you all are because you guys are awesome. But let's get back on track because there's people listening to this as a podcast, and I don't want the listeners to get bored. So, Jeremy Corbell drops these videos. The community is divided. I am literally already having issues with how they reacted to how they reacted to Knapp's photos that he dropped the week before. And now I'm thinking, oh, here we go again. And it did happen. It happened again. And look, everything, if you haven't seen the video, you should definitely check it out. I'm sure you have, because it's been all over the news. And oh boy, did the skeptics have a field day with this one. And it's okay. I get it. Healthy skepticism is fine in this field. Blind skepticism is not. And when you have very intelligent people that are blind skeptics that have a motive, basically they have to prove something isn't real, then we start to have issues. What I saw today was literally what I was saying throughout this week. I was telling everybody, look, the drone discussion came up because this craft is triangle shaped, and there's a light on it that's blinking that is similar to what you would see on an aircraft, even though it's a different pattern than what you would see on a conventional aircraft. People seem to forget too that in lots of UFO cases, there are blinking lights on these craft or propulsion systems or whatever it is, which is very strange. I brought this up in the past before, and I think it's completely weird, right? It's something that you would think, why would they have lights on their craft? But it happens. It's been seen before. It's not the first time. The triangle shaped craft. We've been talking about those craft for a very long time in the UFO field. So for me, I was like, great, look, another video. Well, what happened? The drone discussion came up. Hypersonic drones. People started chattering about hypersonic drones. Let me be very clear and very honest with everyone. If you haven't been thinking about drones, balloons, unmanned aerial vehicles, if you haven't been looking into these things, then I don't know where you've been, because I spend a lot of time looking into the UFO topic, and I also spend time looking into drones and looking into different kinds of balloons that might resemble the craft that we're seeing. I'm always looking for that kind of stuff. So when this conversation came up, I said, oh, great, whatever. And of course, hypersonic drones, yeah, that could be a possibility. But as soon as the community started really focusing on that and talking about that, and sort of became something that was overshadowing where we were at the time with this new video, with the new photos, they weren't clear enough. Everyone thinks, or a lot of people think, that the triangle craft is just a plane and it's bokeh. It's an effect from the camera that they use to film it, the night vision or the lens. And I honestly don't even care at this point about any of those opinions. The only thing I care about is that this news has touched everyone's minds. It's gone around the world, from here to China to Japan. I mean, it's gone everywhere. They were talking about, people were sending me the articles daily while it was coming out, and it was awesome to see them send those things to me, because it was finally like, oh, here, like that didn't happen back in 2017, right? This is happening now because the topic keeps coming up, it keeps being discussed, it keeps showing up. The UAP report is around the corner. So we are in a good place. But when we start talking about drones, did we not learn anything from the mistake Stanton Friedman made? I mean, I'm a huge fan of Stanton Friedman, or not Stanton Friedman. I'm sorry, guys. J. Allen Hynek. Did we not learn from the mistake that J. Allen Hynek made? Did we not? It blows my mind to think like, okay, I understand there are drones. Great job. Let's continue the discussion. Let's get more data. Let's get more information on these cases. You know, I don't need Mick West doing gymnastics about talking about bokeh. Here's my thing. Here's my thing that really gets me. People are sort of belittling the Navy. People are sort of belittling the pilots. And I can't believe it. I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, you don't trust the pilots? You don't trust what the pilots are seeing, what the pilots are saying? Nobody wants to say they saw a UFO. There's nothing good about seeing a UFO. There's not, for us maybe, but for everyday normal people, it doesn't bring you any sort of fame. It doesn't, you know, David Fravor is considered, like, I guess, popular within our circles, but that's it. You know, it's not like he's famous now for that. And there's totally a whole bunch of pilots out there that think that Fravor probably didn't see what he saw. So the drone discussion starts coming into play, and I'm afraid that this drone discussion is going to throw us back years, because here's what's going to happen. Drones are going to keep advancing. So drones are going to become an issue, just like Starlink is an issue. But because now when you look up to the sky, you might see a bunch of Starlink satellites and mistaken them for UFOs. But drones are going to definitely be a huge issue, guys, in the sense of it is very dangerous that we're talking about those things, because as soon as the media picks up a story like a Mick West story and they run with it, the general public's going to think, oh, yeah, it's all drones. Oh, that's just a drone. Just like the weather balloons, just like the swamp gas, we are back to phase one. So we need to be careful what we say. We need to be careful what we do. We need to be careful how we even debunk cases. I don't know what to say. Like, I don't think it's anyone's fault here. I think it's just we need to be careful. I think Corbell did a good thing. He checked his sources and he released this thinking he was going to make a difference. And he did make a huge difference. You know, if Jeremy ever sees this, great job dropping that. You know, and it sucks that everyone wants you to deliver them a 1,500 page memo with DVDs and photos to help prove it. And I know it's difficult to get that, which is why I'm not really angry at any of the stuff that's coming out, because I know I'm being realistic. Mick West was on the New York Post today, like 7 minutes before the original live time. I saw the article come up, and he basically explained why the triangle craft in the Corbell video is a plane. Okay, so you know what's going to happen? They're going to pick that up. The general public's going to see that, and they're going to pat themselves on the back and just wipe their foreheads and say, oof, you see, UFOs are still, it's still a crazy topic. It's still for crazy people. So this whole this whole place we're standing at right now, this whole area we're in, the UFO community, because they are paying attention to the UFO community. Jeremy Corbell is a member of the UFO community, like it or not. You know, and we're seeing this news drop, and we're talking about it before it gets spread around the world. So we need to be very, very, very careful. John says we have to be positive. I agree, John. We got to be positive, but we also, you know, I was pretty down on myself the last week. I didn't even go live last week, if you guys didn't notice, because I didn't know what I was going to say. You know, I wanted to have this discussion, but I felt like, do I really have to say this? You know, do I really have to say this to people? You know, we're looking at craft that have the same resemblance as they have for years, that fly the same way that they have been flying for years. There are so many encounters. This is not the only important case. These aren't the only important cases. These are cases that are getting spread around that have video tied to them now that are being confirmed by what everyone I don't understand too why the everyday common person can't have a sighting, tell people about their sighting and just be treated as credible. Is it really that hard for people to judge who's lying and who's not? I don't know. Like the other day, somebody on Twitter said, "Do you trust military witnesses more than an average person?" And no, I don't. Honestly, I know the whole community does, but personally, I do not. I think they could have seen something incorrectly. Obviously, now look what's going on. Look what's happening. And I'm not saying that I don't trust them, that they would confabulate it. I'm just saying I trust them both the same. That's what I'm trying to say. I trust an everyday person just like I trust a military person. Now, if the military person is a pilot that flies planes and he's telling me what he saw, I'm going to trust the pilot because of his skills, right? Because of his skills, not because of his credentials, not because of who he is, not because he's in the military, because he's a pilot, yes. But that's just me. I don't know. So yeah, so I didn't go live last week because I was kind of like, what am I going to say? How am I going to say this? How am I going to do this? I kind of chilled out for a minute because I was pretty angry when I saw the drone conversation keep coming up and coming up and coming up and coming up. I said, somebody's gonna ruin everything right now. Somebody's gonna turn this topic into drones. They're gonna make us look like fools again. We were never fools. This topic is very real. This has never been a fake topic. This is a real topic. It's really happening. So yeah, I had to take a chill pill, as some may say. Relax for a minute. Think about what's really going on. Be positive, as John said. And yeah. Look, I think the Pentagon and everything that's been leaked, I don't know. I had those moments too. Trust me. I've had those moments where I've been like, what's really going on here? Because something seems to be going on in the background. When the drone conversation started happening, I was worried, like, what if this was all just to create focus on the drone topic? What if they show us all these videos, right? They build up this, we got to pay attention to what's flying over. We got to pay attention to what's flying over our military bases. They build up this idea, and then everyone thinks it's UFOs. It's UFOs, so they get all their eyes on it, and then they drop, this new hypersonic drone conversation onto the table, and it ends up all being about drones, and they fund a military action to take all these drones out or to, do something like that. I don't know. I don't think that's what it is right now. Wow. Sorry, guys. Air conditioner. Jose Dico. He says, cough, cough, Rockefeller Initiative, Clinton, Podesta, Tom DeLong, TTSA, Luis Elizondo, ATIP, UAPTF. Look, man, I don't know. I don't know how far and what's going on in the background, but I'm not really, I need to stay focused on one thing at a time. And that's why the message that's being relayed to the public about these craft existing and about this being a reality is very, very important. It's the most important thing we have right now. It is the most important thing we have right now. And even when a video like Corbell's gets put out there, it is important. Even if people try to rip it apart, even if, Mick West today, I think with that New York Post discussion he had, I think he might have just ruined it. I think he might have just ruined it because I'm almost positive people are gonna pick that up. UFO Video Addict says, when do you realize we're not alone on the planet? When did I realize? I don't know. This is a question people have asked me, how have I gotten into the UFO topic lots of times. And I really think it's just something I has been with me my whole life. I've always felt like there's been more. So when I heard the stories of these craft and these beings, it just kind of made perfect sense to me. And as I looked into cases and cases and cases and cases and cases over here, there reached a point where I just couldn't ignore it. So I don't know if you guys agree with me. If you're listening to this as a podcast, if you agree with me, but I think the message that we are relaying to the general public is the most powerful thing at this moment to help push this discussion, this topic into the right direction. And if we continue to, stay strong, keep the discussion moving forward, don't let ourselves become blind skeptics, because not everything is going to be a drone and not everything is going to be a UFO. Okay? But if trained observers are seeing these things, remember, trained observers, I trust Fravor over McWest. I'm sorry. I know some people value Mick's work. I think I understand it and I see why he exists and what he's doing, but I trust Fravor. I'm sorry. Marcavius, what's up, man? He says, Tom DeLonge said a few years back, the faster we advance, the faster they advance. That's always stuck with me. That's interesting, man. Let me know a little bit more about that. What do you think he was referring to with that? That's somebody I really would love to sit down with. It's Tom DeLonge. There's so many people I'd love to sit down with and talk to about this topic. And another thing I was thinking is, we know Lou Elizondo said that there are members or like people in his circles, right, that work for the military, I guess, or work for the government, that are hanging out inside of UFO Twitter with fake aliases and fake usernames. I have seen a lot of smaller users appearing. I don't know. I don't want to create a conspiracy, but I also think some of them may be just interested and want to see what's going on. They want to see the discussion. Some of them might be trying to keep their eye on the ball. See if any of us drop something like Corbell did. But there also could be disinformation. Disinformation is a very real thing. And I think it today more than ever is something that is done on social media and it's done online. So do I believe that the pyramid video was disinformation? No, I don't. And I do not personally. But like I said, I'll let Jeremy bring more information on that and let him do his work, because I know he's here. I know he's seeing the comments. I know he's seeing people talk about it and rip it apart. And now when he sees this Mick West thing, he's going to go in hard on it. He's going to try and figure it and get as much information out there as he can, because that's what it's for. But also we have to remember that each of us have to do our part. Each of us have to go out and get information and do these kinds of things. That's why I tip my hat to these kinds of people, because it is not easy to do those things. It's not easy to leak information or get the information, vet it, and then get it out there. Scott Brown says, how do we trust people that lied to us for decades to give us solid proof and evidence? I do think that as we evolve as people, right, these establishments begin to evolve. I do not think they are going to tell us the full truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. But the establishments evolve. The politicians get younger. Politicians start to change up a little bit. The government starts to change up a little bit. Everything is changing all the time. So maybe now there's people really trying to get this topic out there because it's just a little less taboo than it was back in the day, right? And but I do not think we will ever get fully all the answers we're looking for from the government. We can't expect to get these answers from the government. We need to find these answers ourselves. We need to bring power back to the people. I'm currently working on 2 projects behind in the shadows, as some may say. And I'm trying to figure out how to help the community in my own ways, right? And one of the projects is really focused on that. So we'll see. And I'll let you guys know what they are once I get them, I get all the screws tightened and everything's ready to go with those projects. But let me check out the live chat. Let me see what's going on. Derek said Knapp released some more pyramid pictures that were older to try and support it. The older pyramid was a night vision. It wasn't night vision. Okay. Yeah, I saw that. I think it was actually he released a clip or something, like a collection of clips from when he was in Russia, if I'm not mistaken. And he had some pictures in there. Sorry, he had some pictures in there. And yeah, the first thing I thought, I actually wanted to grab a screen grab because I saw the video and start sharing it. But I think somebody looked into it. I think, you know what I could do now, guys, which might be kind of cool. Watch. I think I can. I'm still learning all the bells and whistles with StreamYard, but look, let's try something out. For those of you listening to this, what I'm trying to do is jump into Twitter. So I'm going to jump into Twitter. Let's see what's going on Twitter. But I did see somebody talk about it earlier, Derek, and I think they said that it was reported to be like a balloon. But again, we're going to face these things, right? But the balloon idea really it's not really logical anymore. Oof, I got the air conditioner on, guys. It's killing me. But the balloon idea is not really like logical anymore. It's not something that can be used to explain away these cases, which is why this hypersonic drone or just the drone conversation, it might put us back a few years. It might put us back a few years. I'm telling you guys, I'm worried about that. I'm very, very worried about that. Scott says it was from Russia. He's talking about the Knapp footage. I always fix my hat wrong when I'm looking at it in the video. But here, look. I've opened up Twitter. How do I pop the comment off the screen? I just left Derek's comment up there. Let's just go with another one. So, guys, I'm still learning how to use StreamYard. So if you see anything weird, let me know. How do I do this? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to learn how to do little things here. So I know. Oh, there it is. There's Derek's. Sorry, Derek. I left you up there for like 5 minutes. All right. So let's do this. Let's see what it looks like when I pull up Twitter. First, let me make sure everything looks cool here. Yeah, everything looks cool. Let's go to my profile. And here I'm sure I'll have some things we can talk about. See, people aren't talking really about the full Corbell leak. You know, there's the Omaha case, which is the orb that was seen descending into the water. And today on Instagram, he dropped a bit more of information about that and sort of gave everybody a little, you know, a little push in the right direction to go file a FOIA request. He kind of showed where you'd want to start at, basically. So let's see how this works. I did this yesterday. I tested all these things out, guys, yesterday, but I want to make sure to do this right. All right, screen sharing works best with two. Let's see, entire screen. Let's do just a tab. I'm not going to share it with the audio. Or I guess I could share with the audio and then we can listen to stuff, right? If there's anything we want to listen to. Nala's here. Poor Nala. She was watching me freak out over the camera. I'm still kind of angry because I spent a good amount of pesos on that dummy battery. And so this works better with two screens, it says. Can you guys see? Let's see. Oh, you guys can see my Twitter now. Can I control it from? No, I think I have to jump back and forth. How's that look, guys? So what I want to do with this is like interact with you guys too, on Twitter while we're doing the lives. And this is also, this background is going to be what you see like when I bring guests on and stuff like that. It was the original one I used for when I brought on Engaging the Phenomenon, and because my original idea was this kind of style. So let's see. But I feel like, look, see how there's the unded gaucho in the corner, the unded gaucho on the top, the unded gaucho on my hat. There's an unded gaucho everywhere, guys. I gotta remove some of these, like that corner one, the extra logo there. I think is gonna go, not the alien with the unded gaucho. All right, so let's see. So Zignal has been doing some great work. If you guys aren't following Zignal, he's a great artist and he's really into the phenomenon. He makes a lot of appearances on that UFO podcast. He actually has a podcast where he talks about films. So make sure to check that out if you guys get a chance. But he got the clips. Like, this was an example of what we should all be doing. Instead of ripping things apart, we should be working together to try to figure out what's going on. And Zignal took the photos that Jeremy shared and he created like a little, time lapse of them. And you can see the movement of the orb craft or whatever, the circular shaped craft, going into the water. And it takes a little bit of intelligence, a little bit of thinking and creativity. And you put that together and you change up the whole, the whole view on those three pictures. Now you can see movement. By the way, guys, I did do a sit down and talk with Shadows of Your Mind, and he shared some really, really awesome stuff with me that he hasn't shared with anyone else, at least openly. And I will be putting that up. I just have to get it edited. So if you're watching this, Dave, I'm sorry it's not up yet. There were some funny things happening, like people ringing my doorbell while we were talking. So there might be some funny cuts, little breaks in the edit, but it's a really good conversation. So I hope you guys dig it. But here he's talking about the big phone home. For those of you that aren't also following Unidentified Celebrity Review, Luis came up with this great idea to have this like telethon where we contact, our government representatives, sort of talking about the UAP task force report that's going to come out, and trying to get more time for it, and to see if we can get more data, more information, just get people educated, just reach out, sort of show up on their radar, right? So I'm going to be taking part in that, and that's going to happen this Saturday. And yeah, that's going to be awesome. That UFO podcast, guys, Andy, he's the man. Go check out that UFO podcast. He's got, see that cool graphic? That's actually Zignal's work. So All right, so really, you know what we could do, guys? If you want to, remember, you can like now tweet me while we're looking at Twitter. Send me a tweet and I'll talk about it or share it or whatever. This is pretty cool, right? So it's more interactive. For those of you listening, I'm scrolling through Twitter and I'm talking about different things on the feed. But let's get back to what we were talking about. So let me turn this off. It does take a second. It's not too quick, but it's awesome. Look, the quality of the video didn't change. Nothing slowed down. Let me check out what you guys are saying. UFO addicts or UFO video addicts said, did you hear about the NOAA employee who revealed that they encountered aquatic humanoids? I did not hear about the NOAA employee. I have heard stories of aquatic humanoids. Really, here's something too that I've been thinking about lately. The UFO topic is not a logical topic. And we have all these people trying to find logical explanations to a topic that is, it's an alien phenomenon. I think one of the biggest drawbacks, one of the biggest hurdles that we haven't been able to face or get over this bump is that maybe our human brains cannot comprehend what these things are doing. That is something that I keep coming back to. Maybe humans just can't do it. Maybe we're not as smart as we think we are. Maybe our human logic just can't pin this down. And that's why they can continue to interact with us. And they've been interacting with us. And this relationship can continue to exist that we have with these occupants, with these beings. And we just can't seem to see it or understand it because our human logic just can't grasp this topic. I mean, have you ever thought about that? Why do we think that we can understand everything in the universe? That makes no sense. Why do we think that we can find a human explanation for the UFO phenomenon? I don't know. So, really, I wanted to get on here and tell you guys, like, we need to continue the conversation. We need to keep our focus, especially in these moments. The drone conversation is dangerous. I'm telling you guys, I do not want this to put us back 20 years in this discussion. I don't want us to then have to deal with people just saying, oh, that's just a drone. Those are just drones. And this becomes a whole new thing that we have to deal with where the stigma continues to exist. People just get, ignored and everything gets taken as a drone or some military vehicle that we don't know about, because that is just ridiculous. And it's also, people should think about that when they're talking about these, when they're talking about drones and they're bringing this up, they should think about the effect that can have on the actual whole conversation of the UFO topic. But it's not for us. This conversation, the most important part about this conversation is the general public, the everyday people. Within UFO Twitter and within UFO circles and within, between the skeptics and the believers, we do this on our own. Like we look for these answers. Not everyone does that. Alicia said, well, our feeble brains are only functioning at 5% of its capacity. So that's that. I really do think that's a big issue. I think that this phenomenon, being it, maybe it is illogical. Maybe you're not going to find a logical explanation to this phenomenon because it is illogical. It's something that bends the laws of reality. It's something that you can't put into a box. It's phenomena. This is something like, just think about strange cases like Skinwalker Ranch. I haven't checked out season 2 yet. I will. I definitely have. I want to. Have you guys seen season 2? But basically, just think about Skinwalker Ranch, right? Skinwalker Ranch is a place. It's like I made videos about UFO hotspots. These UFO hotspots, it's not just UFOs happening in those locations. It's not just UFO sightings in close encounters. People are having poltergeist experiences. They're seeing Bigfoot and just random cryptids, and just it's the spectrum is so wide when you start to look into high strangeness, and you start to think how, you know, if these craft oh wow, guys, I'm never turning the air on again. 1 second. If these craft can do what they can do and these beings can interact with us this way, who knows what else is out there, right? Who knows what other levels of reality we're not seeing? um I don't know, you know. That's why this topic is so fascinating to me, and that's why I did say this a lot in the past, and it is sort of the motto of this channel originally was the paranormal is normal, because I believe that the paranormal is normal. I believe that many people have close encounters or high strangeness experiences, and it should be considered normal because everyone's having it. You know, everybody's experiencing these things. And if we really want to put our finger on it and understand it, we need to normalize the topic. So I applaud anybody like Jeremy Corbell or George Knapp putting out this kind of stuff and it getting spread around, as long as it's not complete, you know, CGI or something, a complete hoax, then I applaud it. And I don't think this is a complete hoax at all. I don't I don't really agree with Mick West's take on it. I think Mick West is so smart, he's dangerous, right? He's the kind of guy that can literally explain to you something. He can explain how something works when it doesn't actually work that way, but he'll make you see that it does, or he'll find a way to give you another version of something, um, like another explanation for something. It's just, I don't know. Joe Rogan said it great. He was talking about Mick, I think, and he said, I think it was mental gymnastics. But he's dangerous. But I guess some people appreciate what he does. But I'm noticing this spike in people thinking more like that. People thinking more like it's almost closed minded, even though they think they're open minded. Because I am very open minded. Look, I will tell you that I am going to make mistakes. I am going to not be able to do what someone like Mick West might be able to do, that kind of analysis. Or that's why I listen to it. You know, I listen to everyone. I listen to everybody, but I do see this movement. I also see camps within the UFO community where it's like if Lou Elizondo and TTSA drop something, you know, there's people that love it and hate it. Corbell and Knapp are like outside of that camp. It's strange. For me, they're like all, you know, it's a team. I'm looking at everybody like a team. But Jeremy Corbell and Knapp are like outside of the Lou Elizondo camp for some reason. And I don't know. I won't say his name again. You're right. I shouldn't say his name. All I'm doing is attracting more attention to him. He doesn't need me. I'm a small little channel. I shouldn't be helping him out. But yeah, guys. If you believe that the drone conversation is dangerous, I want you guys to remember that when you're going through Twitter, when you're seeing people discuss things, just remember, yes, some UFOs are not extraterrestrial craft, and some UFOs are not drones. They are extraterrestrial craft, or whatever these beings are, they are those craft. Okay. But that doesn't mean that now everything we see is going to be a drone, because that seems to be what all of our best evidence. Some people are just like, it's all drones at this point. And I'm like, okay, this is very, very, very dangerous, because that word starts to spread to the normal people that don't have time to think about this topic, that don't have time. They just sort of take in everything that comes from the media. The media picks this up, this idea, takes it, rolls with it. Disclosure is knocked back to a point where we're basically looking at the whole balloon situation all over again. and swamp gas situation all over again. So be very careful. That's my advice to everyone right now. Don't let these kinds of conversations sway you into that direction, because what's going to happen is you're going to think, oh, yeah, but I'm being logical. I'm looking for logical explanations. If you don't believe in UFOs and you're looking into this topic, you're wasting your time. 100%. If you have an inkling, if you just think maybe, and you're looking into this topic, you're wasting your time. If you believe that it's possible that UFOs could be a reality, then you're in the right place. Right? But if you don't believe, you're wasting your time. It's almost like there's people inside of the UFO community that do not believe in UFOs talking about UFOs, which is wild. I'm like, I don't understand why you're even here. I don't get what you're doing. But so be careful. Stay strong, guys. Stay motivated. Keep looking at cases. Look into the past. Look for similar cases, that are coming up and have to do with these cases. Link them together. Let's try to find more pieces to the puzzle. This is not done. This is going to continue. We have the UAP report coming out soon. I don't expect much from that. I do expect a bit more transparency on the topic in general coming from that, and coming from all these things, and a bit more discussion and acceptance from everyone around the world. So everything is going well. We just need to be focused, and we got to be careful with these kinds of discussions, trying to find logical explanations to an alien phenomenon or a unexplained phenomenon, because there's some of these things, like literally when Hynek brought up the swamp gas thing, he made it very clear. He said, this is not an explanation for all UFO cases. This is an explanation for this one case. But the media picked it up and the media ran with it. And then it was years and years. We're still talking about swamp gas today in this live. So be careful, guys. Stay safe out there. Keep protecting yourselves from everything. Keep your friends and family safe and healthy. And we're going to talk soon, guys. I didn't have time to get this battery fully charged because I was trying to fix everything. So the camera's going to die now. But thank you guys for being here tonight. Thank you for listening. If you're listening to this as a podcast, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And we will talk soon, guys. Oh, before I go, let's do one last thing before I go. Let's do this. I'll leave you guys with a little positivity here. Might as well.